you like trying to mock me? I kind of understand.
Hey yo, here we go. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. I said microphone check. 1 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me.
All right, what is up, everybody? We are live. I know a little later than usual. We wanted to start around 8. I was having some internet problems, but we're here. We are getting ready to it's pretty good week for Chicago sports this week. Bears are coming off a victory week 4 to bring them to 2-2 going into the bye. A little bit of luck in Vegas, but can never be too grateful for some luck, because that game was rough for a while. And then we had the Cubs played today at 2:00 in the game 1 of the NL wild card, and it was a good day for Chicago sports, or a good week for Chicago sports overall. Turtle, what do you think?
Yeah, man, thought everything was trending well. Getting ready for the Bears season to start. Right around that time, Cade Horton was dominating everybody. And then the Bears started their season and went to Detroit. And then Cade Horton magically broke a rib.
Yeah, coughing or something.
And then we were like in Chicago hell. But then now 2 weeks later, the Bears are 2-2 going in the bye. And the Cubs won 3-1 today. And they're up 1-0 in this little best of 5. Was it best of 5?
Best
right?
of 3. Best of 3. Yep.
Best of 3, yeah.
So, I mean, where do you want to start? We could start with the Bears. Why don't we start with the Cubs? Bears usually end up being a longer conversation
That's
for
true.
us than Cubs. So
Cubs is probably a quicker conversation.
yeah. So the Chicago Cubs played the San Diego Padres today in the first game of the NL wild card. An area that we were really after August, I felt like it was just better for the Cubs to just kind of focus on getting healthy, getting right, getting to this wild card spot, because the Brewers just pulled too far ahead. But a lot of times in baseball, you see where the best team doesn't necessarily make it all the way, and it's all about getting your momentum, finding your groove in the playoffs early. And the Cubs did that. It wasn't an offensive explosion. They won 3-1. Matthew Boyd pitched fantastic. He got himself in a couple of situations early in the game. Thank God for Dansby Swanson and his defensive ability, because without him, that game could have got out of hand a lot quicker than it looked. You stranded a guy on.
I will say that PCA had that throwing error that allowed the run to come in, but he also saved a lot of hits chasing down those balls in a gap. There's a lot of those usually go for doubles that he wound up getting to
Right.
Keep him to a single, or sometimes he caught him and didn't even give up a hit.
Yeah, it was a lot of what they did throughout the season. You know what I mean? You played good defense.
It was one of them, wind blowing in, go ahead and throw it over the plate because they're probably not going to hit it out anyways type
Yeah,
game.
and if you really look at it, San Diego was pitching really well too until that 5th inning, and the Cubs really couldn't get anything. I think it was a single by Nico Horner was the only hit up until the point of the 2 solo back-to-back home runs. Not Matthew Boyd, sorry. Shaw almost hit one out. He connected at the first pitch.
Yeah.
But like you said, that wind is no joke out there. So it kept the ball in the park. And San Diego got a run early. But the Cubs, Matthew Boyd, he buckled down, and they ended up really shutting down the Padres from that point on. You know, after that scare with the guys on third, you know, Boyd gets out of it. Then they start bringing in, you know, they brought in Palencia, which was a weird move.
A really weird spot to bring
Yeah.
in what they did. I mean, ultimately it worked,
Yeah.
you know, and I mean, this is why the Ricketts family and everybody's why they went out and got Craig Counsell, because he's supposedly the playoff mastermind.
Yep.
And I think you kind of saw it today. It was like all year long, it was Palencia is our closer. This person is our this person is. Today came and he was. They asked about it before game, and he was like, "Well, we're gonna try to get 27 outs."
Yeah, we don't care who gets them. We just want to get them.
Didn't care who was getting them, where they were getting them, as long as they got 27 outs and they were winning after 27 outs.
Yep, and that's what they did. That's what they did today. Now tomorrow, they play also. You know, if they win, they advance to play the Brewers. It's going to be interesting. I believe they're going with Kittredge to start the game in the first inning.
Really?
And then they're going to go to Shota in the second inning because Shota has, over the last, or I think all year, he's hitting like a 7 WAR in the first inning.
He's got a bugaboo in the first.
He always just lets up home runs in the first inning, and you can't afford that.
Show up to the park tomorrow and the wind's blowing in at like 10 miles an hour?
I don't know. Shota's hair might get too much.
Then you figure you put him in because he's not going to give up a home run?
I mean, I don't hate the idea. I think you go to, instead of going the first inning through the fifth, you have him the second through the sixth. So you're not taxing your bullpen. And that's if everything goes well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as Craig Counsell said, as long as we're winning after 27 outs, I don't care.
Right. It's all about getting the win at the end of the day, and that's what they did today. Seiya, you know, blasted one into the bleachers. Kelly was right after that.
Yep.
I was listening to the broadcast on ESPN 1000. It was the national broadcast on there, but they were talking about the guy literally before those 2 home runs was talking about how the Cubs haven't been able to like really string together any base runners. And he's like, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to hit home runs. Literally Seiya was up next.
Yeah.
A home run. And then Kelly hit another home run right after that. So it was, it wasn't as comfortable as a win as I would have liked, you know, with the big explosive offense, but
once you get to the playoffs, a win's a win.
Right. And that's kind of where
it don't matter anymore. Now it's
right.
Just
I don't think you're going to see those 9-4, 9-3 games
right
in the playoffs. Everybody kind of tightens up a little bit.
And the weather gets a little cooler and the ball doesn't carry as much.
Right.
You know, you don't get that hot weather where the ball just cuts through the air and, you know, you see like you said, the 9-7s and stuff like that. But hey,
I mean, it was nice to see playoff baseball back in Chicago after 5 years. And
first playoff win I heard first playoff win in 8 years.
Yeah, since 2017.
So,
that's wild to think about. Like, after the 16 World Series, they only won one more year of playoff baseball, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then they disbanded the team, and here we are now with a team that's up 1-0 in the wild card round.
Right.
You know, and go in tomorrow, close the door, focus on fucking Milwaukee. And I don't think Milwaukee is a juggernaut by any stretch. I don't think there is a juggernaut in MLB this year. There was no team that had over 100 wins. No. And a lot of the teams were in that 90 win, 88 win area, and they're all pretty close. And I don't think there's like a definitive favorite to get to the World Series. I mean, obviously there's favorites in betting markets and stuff like that. But I mean, if I had to think of the most complete team, it would probably be the Phillies.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people, the easy pick is the Phillies.
Right. They just have the experience. They have
the roster. They have the roster. They have the closer. They have all those things. But, you know, it's one of those things. It wouldn't be the first time that teams went out and loaded up and then got to the playoffs and didn't make it out of the first round or second round.
Right. And let's hope that the Cubs can be that spoiler for the Brewers going into
Yeah.
Well,
And
we got to get through the wild card route first, but I have
Yeah.
I have a belief in this team that I think they're good enough to get to at least past the wild card round.
yeah, I mean, and you know what? If nothing else, it's fun to have the Cubs in the playoffs again. It's
Yeah,
fun
this is the
to-
first Chicago team since what, the Sky 3 years ago to be in the playoffs, 4 years ago.
So it's fun. It's fun to see. It's fun to be a part of. It's fun to be able to root for them again in the playoffs. And who knows? Pete Alonso says he's opting out of his contract. Maybe he starts at first base for these Cubs next year and hits 50 home runs.
I mean, there's a lot of wishful thinking when it comes to free agency, and you still got the whole Tucker situation.
Yeah,
I don't think they're bringing him back.
They have to, man. They have to.
You think they would have to, but also
If I'm like, I know they gave him the extension, so it really doesn't matter. But if Jed doesn't figure out how to re-sign this dude after you gave up Cam Smith for him,
it seems to me more like they were just okay with wherever they get this year because they have Owen Casey sitting in the minors who's going to come up and play in that spot anyways.
then why not? Then why not just let Cam Smith play right field?
That's a great question.
Like,
Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe
why not
Tucker
let
was more of a
let Smith
known
play right
product.
field, and you can play Cam Smith at third base, and then you don't have the third base issues anymore. Like I don't know. I just don't see how you give up that type of prospect who was MLB ready. And yeah, he struggled this year a lot, but I always tell
I
people,
think the only way that they get Tucker is if he takes a massive deal for this franchise. And barring some long run to through the playoffs, I don't see that happening.
I don't know. They just projected Pete Alonso is going to get $177 million over 6 years. Like that's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy was projected before the season started to be a $500 million guy, and then halfway through the season, he was a $600 million guy. And now he's a $400 million guy, and the Cubs still don't seem to be interested in playing in the pool in that with that kind of a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like. It just is baffling to me. Like at some point, you have to figure like, what's your plan? Like, is your plan not?
Right.
You have to be willing to spend the money.
Right. You gotta keep your players at some point.
Especially like you saw the flashes before he got hurt. Like the dude's a monster.
Yeah, it would be a big time fumble for this team to not re-sign him. But
yeah,
I mean, we really don't. That's not even a topic if this team keeps winning. And then honestly, the best thing for the Cubs would be for them to win the World Series with this roster, because then they're like, oh well, we won it, so now I don't have to sign anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's the old Florida Marlin mentality,
right?
Let's go win it, and then we can get rid of everybody next
year. Right.
Anybody.
That wouldn't surprise me if the Cubs
did that like every 4 years. They would compete and go to a World Series, and they trade everybody off and not pay anybody. And be like, well,
yeah,
it's okay. We gave you this year.
Right, we gave you that year, and then we'll take 8 years off to get back to the playoffs.
Yeah, so
you'll love it either way.
Right.
But yeah, tomorrow will be a fun game. I'm excited to watch. I always get anxious when my teams play. I want them just to fucking have a big ass lead and be comfortable, because you as a Chicago sports fan know really no lead is ever safe when we watch shows and shit or games, and it's nice to have those games where it's 34-14,
Right.
So, but now, we can move past the Cubs, get on to my favorite Chicago sports team in the Chicago Bears. The Bears escaped Vegas with a win, 25-24. They really had no business winning this game on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively,
I mean, hey, Caleb put the drive together when he needed to.
Yeah, that's true. It was I've been trying to stay so level with this team this year, and there were some good things that happened in that game.
There's a lot of good things that happened in the
Caleb
game.
Williams was 22 for 37 for 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 1 sack, QBR of 73.3. So it wasn't a great game. The offensive line was being bullied. That
in the first half. Yeah.
Yes, was bullied. And then they went to halftime and said, we're not going to put up with this. We're going to make some adjustments. Pulled Borum or Braxton Jones,
Braxton
pulled
Jones.
him, put Trapillo there, and then they had Benedette on the other side. And Max Crosby was kind of a non-factor the second half of that game. If they don't make that move, I don't know if it's a situation where Max Crosby keeps wrecking that
So
team.
now, just because this will be fun to say, but now after seeing that game and Trapillo coming in at halftime, coming in and moving in at right tackle, and yeah, as you said, basically taking one of, if not the best pass rusher in football out of the game.
Yeah.
Does that change your opinion of Ryan Poles?
Yeah, no,
Ryan Poles drafting that Trapillo
No.
isn't a bum?
no, because he's the guy who drafted Darnell Wright that's going to get replaced too.
But Darnell Wright's not going to get replaced.
Well, who knows?
I think
He's
Darnell.
been. They brought in Benedette, and he had no penalties,
Yeah, but
0. And Darnell Wright has had 2, at least 2 in every game that
I
have cost you
understand that,
yards.
but there's more to line play than just.
I get it, but that line looked a lot better with everybody that was in there this time.
Yeah, but
And Ryan Poles drafted Darnell Wright, who was supposed to be a stud lockdown.
Look, I like Darnell
pro.
Wright. I think Darnell Wright's your starting right tackle come out of the bye.
I
think Darnell.
They
Wright,
already made a change at left tackle,
Yeah, but
and that was also one of his guys that he drafted.
Darnell Wright didn't get replaced. Braxton Jones got replaced. He's a 5th-round pick. Like
That was also a pick
all
by
I'm
Ryan Poles.
saying is part of the whole Ryan Poles can't draft is you drafted Trapillo, who isn't even good enough to be on the field, and then he finally gets a shot.
Right.
Look what happens.
Right. So maybe that's a silver lining. He's got a lot of making up to do.
Oh,
not,
for sure.
not going to say one good draft pick is going to forgive all the terrible moves that he has made.
No, but if you get Caleb Wright and you get Adunze Wright and you get Darnell Wright, right, and no pun intended, and you get Trapillo Wright, and you didn't draft him, but you brought in Benedict, and you bring all these guys in, and I mean, I'm just saying, like there is a path here that leads to Ryan Poles' redemption.
I think the Bears would have to,
Like if you traded DJ Moore,
which I would do.
we talked about this. Like, let's say they traded DJ Moore, and it was actually my dad that sent it to me, and he made me freak out. I thought it happened. I was at work when he texted me. I thought it happened, but it was just his idea was DJ Moore to the Giants for Kevon Thibodeau. Which I'd make that trade in a heartbeat. But if for whatever reason DJ Moore wasn't there, I think Luther Burden steps in and you don't miss a beat on offense with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. And, if you've got a guy, Ozzie Trapillo, who maybe he's not ready to start yet, but you see him come in when the game's on the line, come in and be able to take over and play and keep up with, Max Crosby and, other things. I'm just saying, like, there's a road here that I could see where Ryan Poles looks like he deserves that extension he got.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
I
feel like it's very difficult to give a guy. I think that the way they went about this is stupid.
For the Bears to be good, Ryan Poles has to be redeemed.
Right.
Because if the Bears are good, it's going to be with the players that Ryan Poles drafted. And there will be no other choice but to give Ryan Poles his flowers and say, okay, Ryan Poles did his job.
I don't know if I'll ever be.
The Bears can't be good and then say, well, Ryan Poles isn't doing a good job. Well, obviously he is then.
So I'm going to say this. He got the coach that I wanted him to get. The coach has put coaches around this team.
Yeah.
That I think are improving the players more than the players were being coached last year and the previous couple of years.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're seeing instant turnaround. Like you're seeing from week to week, you're seeing guys get better at multiple positions. Whatever Dennis Allen has done, he has unlocked Tyreek Stevenson. He went and found the old Tariq.
So
Cohen,
so
him
far, it's been 2 games against 2 subpar offenses.
but
Let's push the pedal on that one.
but he wasn't playing good against Minnesota either.
Yeah, and he played terrible against Detroit against a top flight wide receiver.
I'm just saying, like, Detroit's a good offense.
Right.
He played great against Dallas. Dallas the number 1 offense in football.
Yeah, I mean, putting up 40 against the Packers, which, by the way,
But I'm just saying, like,
I just want to give a shout out to all my Packer friends up here. I believe it was 2 weeks ago before the Cleveland Brown game that one of your players came out and said he wouldn't be surprised if the Packers went undefeated.
No. He said he would be surprised if they did not go undefeated.
Yeah.
Worse than saying,
yeah, I'd be surprised if we aren't undefeated.
Right.
Dog, what? You lost to the Browns because Jordan Love is a terrible quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. Jordan Love is not better than Dak Prescott. Jordan Love is not a top 10 quarterback in this league. He makes the stupidest turnovers and throws at the worst times. And I'll tell you what, I think if I was a Packer fan, I would have much rather have lost that game than tied it. Because literally it showed your team, the Packers went out, made this move for Micah.
Hey, he saved the game.
Okay, but they still didn't win or lose.
So I said that I said it on the chat and on here. He didn't win anything at Dallas. Like, he's only one guy. Football is very much not a one-man sport.
Correct. And that's why I think that the Packer fans were so overhyped when they got him. Like, oh, we're going to go. It's over. This is it. This reminds me a lot. Like, this could really turn out to be like when the Bears got Khalil Mack and they didn't have the quarterback right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the quarterback's right. I don't think – now, I'm not saying you can't win with Jordan Love. But
I don't think you're going to win because of Jordan Love. He's not Aaron Rodgers, where if you're down,
correct.
This guy's just going to unleash.
The receiving core during the regular season, it's always great to say, well, it's a different guy every week. But when you get to the playoffs and that field shrinks, you got to have that guy that no matter what, you can count on. And I don't think they have that. I don't think that player is in the building right now.
And I heard a lot of talk about after this game about, we should never have gotten rid of Mike McCarthy and all this crazy nonsense.
Yeah,
people up here act like the world is completely falling apart. But this brings me to the topic that I wanted to really talk about after this game. The Bears are 2-2, and now the Packers are 2-1-1. The Lions are 3-1, and the Vikings are 1-3.
Yes.
So you are firmly in the position in this division where you kind of control your fate going forward. You might not be able to topple Detroit because they already beat you once and Minnesota beat you, but you're still ahead of Minnesota right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the next few games, like, there's a couple tough ones, but I realistically could see them. I think it was 5-1. Their next 6 games is what I believe I saw. Somebody posted, what do you think they'll do these 6 games? I think it was 6 games. Whatever it was 1 loss. The only loss I saw them losing was Baltimore. But now if Baltimore doesn't have Lamar Jackson, I mean, I'm not scared of Baltimore then either. Like,
right, you go in and play a Commanders team that's been struggling.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? Jaden Daniels may not even be back for that game.
Right, and then you go play New Orleans that's 0-4.
I mean, I personally think the Bears go in and they beat Washington. I don't see any way you lose to Washington after everything that happened last year.
Yeah.
I just think that game has been circled. So you beat Washington. As you said, that New Orleans, they may not even have half of their team by the time they get there because other guys might have been traded off.
Right.
They're so bad. But you got those two. I think one is Cincinnati. That's got to be a win.
You play. Hold on. So you play the Commanders, the Saints. You play Baltimore, and Baltimore has struggled. Their defense looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving up 40 to everybody.
Right. And that is not a good recipe to win. And Lamar's banged
now
up.
we're talking about Lamar being out at least 3
Right.
weeks.
Then you play the Bengals without Joe Burrow, and their defense is ass, and their offense is ass.
When is Baltimore? It's bye week.
It goes bye week, Commanders, Saints, Ravens.
So that's 4 weeks. They're saying he'll be out at least 3 weeks.
So you could be, I mean, if you have to go into Washington and handle business.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just feel like, obviously I don't know him, but
Right.
what I see, I feel like that game, like Ben Johnson's smarter than that. Like I
think getting embarrassed in Detroit was probably the best thing that could have happened to him. I think he kind of thought he was going to go in there and show them what's up. And I think it helped him be a little more self-aware. And I think that that's going to do well for this team going forward.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think he really thought they were going to go in there and win. But at the same time, I think it was what this team needed. If you listen to these players talk about Ben Johnson, that's that old saying, they'll run through a wall for him.
Yeah.
It's not to be cliche, but that's what it sounds like when you hear them talk about him.
Right.
So I think for them, it was important for him to be embarrassed because it was like, hold on. We can't let him be embarrassed. Like we have to be better.
Right. The team really does seem like it's playing so much harder for this coach.
Yeah, it really does. And you've heard Caleb speak about him, and he said, "Look, man, like Ben speaks a little differently on game day than he does in practice." And he said he's much calmer, and he's like some of those spots that come up, like in practice, he doesn't hesitate to tell me, like, "Yo, you've got to figure out how to make this play, period."
Right.
He said, but then we get to the game and these moments come up and he's like, look, see it, do it. I believe in you. I know you're going to make this play. And after you make this play, this is what we're going to do. And he's like, and Caleb said, like, he's like, he's a good dude. He's like, we appreciate that. And that in that moment, he's able to take the emotion out of it and be like, look, I have all the faith in the world in you. And I know we're going to do this. Now go do it.
I think that also it's a lot of people seem to have a problem with the play calling. There's a few of these gimmicky gadget plays that people aren't used to seeing. And not every gadget gimmick play is going to work. Right. But I like the fact that we're seeing him have the faith in this team to at least try to execute, because it's like, it reminds me of when they kind of like pulled the reins on Justin Fields and we're like, well, we're not going to give him everything.
Right.
We're just going to cut the field in half and let him do that. Like, you can't learn to do it until you do it.
Right.
Right. So yeah, it looked like a fake stumble bump like they did against the Bears. The fake flea flicker. Jesus,
I was just going to say
fake flea flicker. I thought that was a sick idea, and it worked for the most part, other than the penalty.
It's a cool play like that. Yeah. I was gonna say you see him creating new ones. Like that's a new one. Like that's a new wrinkle.
Right, and he just seems to have. We as fans, obviously, we have a shorter sight. Most casual fans have a shorter sight of a season because they see the team, they see the improvements that have been made in the offseason, the player acquisitions, all this stuff. This free agent, that draft pick, blah, 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 blah. And you immediately want to be like, okay, well, we've been so bad for so long. This is the year that we need to see some improvement. Right. But like, you dive deeper into it. And the biggest thing you and I talked about before the season started, the biggest thing for this team was to see the relationship between Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson work. Right. And I feel confident at this point that Ben is in on Caleb, and Caleb has bought into this Ben Johnson system as well. Yeah. And while the beginning of the game Sunday was a little bit of a step back, what they do? They went into halftime, they made the adjustments, and it still wasn't as pretty as we'd like to see, but you came out with a win. Caleb had the ball, drove down, got the touchdown, got you the lead. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion didn't work, so you're a little more panicked in that last drive with the Raiders trying to kick the field goal. But then you have your special teams guys giving clues to your
Right.
coaching staff. Hey, watch the long snapper do this before he snaps the ball.
Right.
That was the inside they needed.
Yeah.
And Blackwell or whatever
Josh
made the block, and they go on to win. And that's what, if it was last year, they lose that game.
Oh, absolutely. If this is last year, I mean, we're 0-4 right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we have a win yet. And the biggest takeaway for me, I should say two takeaways. There's two very big takeaways for me from this game. One was that play where we blocked the field goal for Bears fans was like a turning point, because that's what we're used to seeing done to the Bears. But like, it was a big deal. Like, you heard the announcers, like I yelled, but then you listen to the announcers call it and they yelled.
Yeah.
Because there's so much shock. But then if you listen to the players speak, they expected to win.
See, and that's
a big difference from last year.
Then I remember seeing an interview with Byard after the game, and he said that the narrative around the Bears is that the Bears find a way to lose games like that. Yeah. And if it's last season, you lose that game.
Yeah, absolutely you do.
But it's this year, and you have a team that's buying into this head coach, that's starting to believe. And what helps you believe in that, the narrative up at practice, if you see that it's working.
Yeah. I mean,
all this talk is cool, but if you're not winning games, it doesn't matter.
And you can see, like, from a player standpoint, you can see we're working on this on the practice field. Oh, and look, now we're doing it on the field. Like Caleb spoke about his eyes and the things that they work on in practice and how that then was carried over to the games and different things like that. And my other takeaway from it, I don't remember my other takeaway was. It was that they expect to win. Oh, and then the other is that Ben Johnson is very transparent. Yeah. He said in his interview the day after the game, he said, or maybe it was post-game, whichever, he said, look, this was a step back for our offense.
Yeah.
We thought we took a few steps forward. This one, obviously, it's a step back. Now, before, the culture of the Bears would have been, we won the game. Caleb threw the game-winning drive. Offense is perfect.
Yeah.
He's like, look.
I love that they didn't give up. I love that they didn't give up. That was the famous Matt Nagy. They fought till the end.
Right. Great. You fought for a loss. Good job.
Yeah.
Like Ben's like, no. And obviously you hear a lot of things nowadays that are fake. I don't know if it's true or not. It was a very busy day. I couldn't follow up to hear if that was right or not. But I read that Bears had the game. They're on bye. They had a practice.
Yes, that is true. They did have a practice today.
He was like, we're at Hall. We're practicing. Like, this is not vacation.
Right. You know where vacation happens? After you win the championship.
But last year?
Oh, yeah.
They're in Cabo. They're wherever.
They didn't even make the team fly back to Chicago after the game against Jacksonville.
Right.
They said, no, we're on bye. Go ahead. Go from here wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
And how did that go? 10-game losing streak right afterwards.
And so Ben Johnson said, look, it's Tuesday. Cool. We're practicing.
Right. And it's that's the kind of behavior that will turn an organization from a losing organization, because that's what the Bears have been. There's a pop-up good season here and there.
Right.
But this organization is known for being a losing organization in the last 25, 30 years. Yeah. To change that narrative, look what Dan Campbell had to do in Detroit.
Right.
You have to go in there and you have to make these guys believe that it's not going to be easy, but it is going to be worth it. And that's what I think we're seeing. It's not easy. This is probably one of the hardest off seasons Caleb's probably ever had. You're learning to play under center, a position he didn't do. And I was listening to Dan Orlovsky when he was talking on Waddle and Sylvie last week before the Raiders game. And he was talking about patience with Caleb and
we talked about
understanding. Yeah, people understanding like
Wait till November.
Caleb is under center, right? And then when he hikes the ball, he turns his back to the defense
Mm.
and then turns around with no idea of what the
What's
picture he's going to
happening,
be looking at is. And he has a split second or two to make the decision of that guy's not open, go here with the ball.
Yeah.
Something he has never done in his
Right.
career. And I think it's important for us to kind of remember that as fans of this team that
Yeah.
there will probably be games where we lose 34-14.
Right.
Caleb's not going to look great. But what we want to see is that continuous growth through the whole season.
And you can see it where we never, years past, especially last year before that, there was I think every Bears conversation was who's getting better on this team? Like who has gotten better since they've been here? But now like you're seeing those things and like, obviously Tom Brady has forgotten more about being a quarterback in the NFL than all of us combined will ever know. But you when you hear him talk about Caleb and he says, I'm okay with that throw because look at the way he's getting through his progressions.
Right.
Like, yes, down the road, he's going to have to figure out how to make that throw.
Yep.
The fact that he got to the fourth progression and knew that was where the ball is supposed to go, I'm okay with the growth I'm seeing.
Right.
Where I'm not going to overreact to that throw.
And I said it this offseason. I would rather see Caleb see the interceptions increase.
Yeah.
As long as it means that he's trying to take the step to throw passes he normally wouldn't throw.
And in the right
you
time.
Can't do because that's how you learn.
Third
shit, I got picked off. What did I do wrong on that play? And then come back the next week or the next play and fit the ball in where it's supposed to be.
Like, so just for like, obviously I was going to say like third and long, obviously interception, a 40-yard pass down the field on third and 25 or 30 that gets picked off is a lot different than first and 10 pass that gets picked off.
Right.
Like last week, he threw the pick on the 2-point conversion. And I was saying to my wife, like, yeah, but he's forcing it there. Like he doesn't really want to throw that ball.
Right.
But it's the 2-point conversion. There's no point throwing the ball out of bounds. Like the week, not this week against the Bears, but the week before that, I saw Geno Smith do that. It was fourth down and he rolled out and he threw the ball away. It's like
Russell Wilson did that before he got benched.
Right.
The last game, it was fourth down.
Maybe that's who it was. Maybe it was Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and he threw it away.
Threw the ball and is like, what are you doing? Like, it's fourth down. You might as well throw the ball to your farthest receiver and hope that he comes up with it or you get a penalty. If not, it's just like you punted.
Right.
Like, so to your point, like, I'm okay
try to make something work.
Like, I'm okay with some of the things that he's done that maybe isn't the best that you've seen around because you see him trying to take those steps in his growth where, okay, I'm not going to continue to check down because we're behind. We need to push the ball now.
Right.
And then later on, like, we're ahead. Let me just go ahead and take this check down and live to see another down. Like those differences, like that's what we want to see. So yeah, like to your point, there's going to be games where you're like, oh my God, how did we go backwards? It's like because he's still
honestly, this could be that game. Hey, we didn't play well, but we got to win.
Right.
It's a lot better playing like shit and getting a win than playing well and losing. Like the win at this point in the season is the most important thing. Then it's the growth of the team as you progress through the season.
And if nothing else, I got to watch Cairo Santos make 2 50-plus yard field goals.
Yeah.
I didn't even know his leg could get the ball there.
That's fair. That's very fair.
But no, I kid. But, I mean, hey, it's all things that you're seeing years past where they would find a way to lose. They're now finding a way to win.
Right. Yeah, it's
even from week 1 to week 4. Week 1, they found a way to lose.
Yep.
In week 4, they found a way to win.
Right.
It's like, see the team already making steps. Like that's the Ben Johnson effect. That's the Dennis Allen effect. The Antoine Randall effect. Eric Bieniemy. All these guys. Like,
right.
And that, albeit give him his credit where it's deserved, and criticize where that's deserved, but this is a different culture this Bears team has. And it starts at the top. Ryan Pace. He went out and got Ryan Poles. He went out and got Ben Johnson. He went out and got the guy that this team needed. And then Ben Johnson went out and said, I'm not just going to bring in my buddies that I like to talk football with. I'm going to go get the best person available for the job.
Yeah.
See it. Like Dennis Allen is a monster, a defensive coordinator. And you see him when you say, oh, guys.
Especially doing what he's doing, being down 4 of your top
I was just going to say,
starters.
years past, you see the Bears teams would have been like, well, I'm going to force this square peg into a round hole regardless. He said, oh, my team is not – I cannot blitz and send everybody right now. I don't have the guys to cover. So he scaled it back. He found different ways to create pressure. He found different ways to try to win the game by just having enough guys in the secondary. But then when they were able to cover, he said, now I'm going to go after you. Like, now I'm going to take advantage of those situations.
Right.
And same thing on the offensive side. You see when a defense makes a mistake, Caleb and this offense, they're pouncing on it. They're taking advantage of it right away. You know, Caleb is so athletic. I love that Ben is coaching him and all these guys are coaching him. I forgot the offensive coordinator's name. Was it Declan Doyle?
Yeah, Declan Doyle.
Yeah, you see like the way they're coaching him, they're saying, look, this, and this of your game have got to get better, but don't lose who you are.
Right.
We saw Matt Nagy take that away from
Mitch
Trubisky, and he was a completely different quarterback. He's never been the same since.
Nope.
Now you see a guy like Caleb, and I don't know who it was that said it the other day, but they're right. He might be the hardest quarterback to sack in the NFL. Like the guy is just there, and then all of a sudden he's gone.
Yeah.
Also, you're right. Al Harris is a stud too. Like this.
That was one of the top when I heard that they hired Al Harris, I was like, yo, that guy's going to do some good work for this team. And he really has done a great job.
That's how I was with Antoine Randall. Those two hires, like, they get lost because, they're not Ben Johnson. They're not Dennis Allen. But those are the guys that – look at this team is down, like you said, your best 4 players on defense. And look what they're doing every week. Look what they're finding ways to do. They're finding new ways to win. And it's a fun time to watch the Bears. It's a fun time to be a Bears fan and see them continue to take these steps every week right in front of us.
Yeah, and I think it's something that we're not accustomed to seeing.
Packers suck.
Because like we've lived at least the majority of my life, the Bears have not been good. So like there's that shell shock a little bit. Like when I was watching that game Sunday, I was like, of course they missed the 2-point conversion. Of course the Raiders are going to go down the field and kick a field goal and decide you're going to lose this game. Mm-hmm. But then they changed the narrative, and that's all that we can do is hope that over these next few weeks that changes the narrative and it changes the fortunes of this team. Because I'll tell you what, I'd much rather have started the season 0-2 and been playing better into this bye week at 2-2 than what the Packers are facing right now, starting 2-0, and now you're 2-1-1.
Yeah, I mean, if you could imagine the narrative if the Bears had won those first 2 games, the sky's the limit, and then you lose 2 going to the bye week. Oh, doom and gloom. Everything it's always been. Washington last year all over again. Like those things.
Yeah, poor Foster.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, so like to see those things and, the other thing I have to say, I have to give her credit. The Bears won because of Melissa. She came and sat down, and from the moment she sat down, Caleb took the ball upfield. They went down. They scored the touchdown. She got up right before the kickoff, and they had that long-ass return. I yelled at her and told her she had to sit back down because she changed the outcome of the game. She sat down. Boom, they blocked the field goal.
Hell yeah. So it's funny you said that. Obviously, the Cubs played today, but last night on ESPN, they were running a bunch of old 30 for 30s, and they had
Yeah.
the Catching Hell documentary. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever watched that one, the
I
Steve
haven't seen
Bartman
that
incident. And I was watching, I sent a snap to my brother, and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing watching that? Turn that shit off." He's like, "They play tomorrow." So then I put on Prime, they have this new series, Game 7, where like they go into all these famous Game 7s throughout all
really?
sports. Yeah. And I watched the Game 7 of the Cubs and the Indians at the time. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I still get chills. Nothing beats the city of Chicago when their teams are good. The entire city is just on a completely different level. The fan base is so engaged, and I'm really excited because you can't fucking rely on the Bulls. They're terrible. The Blackhawks, they don't know what they're doing. You know, so it's
And
the
it
Cubs
was
and the Bears.
It was so much fun when the Hawks were good.
Oh yeah, yes, it
I
was.
remember being at the bar. We were at Pop's Pizza in Roselle when Kane put that puck in the net from the side of the net, and he was the only one who knew it was in. He put it in. He threw his gloves up in the air. I was like, "It's in the net." They're like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "It is in the net." And then all of a sudden, everyone realized it was in the net, and it was like goosebumps and just crazy. You know, I can only imagine. I was, obviously I'm older than you, but I was very young when the Bulls were in their prime.
Yeah.
I just remember like the city being crazy and people shooting off fireworks and everything else.
I was still pretty young when the Bulls were doing their thing. I remember my dad was, the whole city was electric, you know,
We were on
a team like that.
We were on vacation going to Florida. We were in Florida. I'll never forget. We were in Florida at a drive-through. I think it was a Taco Bell. I don't remember. We were at a drive-through listening to them win the championship because we were in Florida. We were listening to it on the radio. Like you said, there's nothing like this city when a team is good.
Yeah.
City will lift a team up and love them eternally until they don't. But
it's not wrong. Chicago, look at the 85 team.
Yeah.
They still live in this lore of it's a completely different brand of football from what it is now, you know, and it's.
Or that feel like when the Cubs finally won it, like, it wasn't just like an organizational change. Like it's life changing for the fans to see that moment. The script flipped and the Cubs went from those lovable losers to the team that everybody expects to be good now.
Yep.
It's like, not that I'm comparing the two, but you start to feel that starting to turn with the Bears. They go from expecting to lose to now we expect them to win. And it's just it's a very cool time.
Yeah, I think it's a positive shift, at least in a few of the teams. The Bulls, I still think
was right. My dad just texted me. It was a Taco Bell.
Hell yeah.
I was so young, but I remember it was when they beat the Jazz. It was when Jordan hit the shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing beats Chicago when their teams are going, and it just brings the city together. Mm-hmm. Everybody's just in a better mood.
Yeah.
You know, so it'll be exciting these next couple weeks with the Cubs, and hopefully they can sustain a long run in the playoffs, and then the Bears can, make some noise, and we're not talking about a 2-10 fucking Bears team going into Christmas. You know what I mean? I'd love to not have to discuss draft potential at Christmas time. Potential wild card spot would be nice, and then we could just keep saying
it would definitely be a nice change of pace to talk about what the Bears have to do to win a playoff game versus should they pick first overall? Should they trade
the pick? Yeah, fuck it. I don't want to have that show. I just want to keep saying
the Bears
all the time. I
love that he ends all of his interviews with that.
Yeah, I love that. Like, people were like, "Oh, he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to be in Chicago, blah blah blah," and he's embraced this city.
Yeah.
But we got the bye week this week. I still think we're going to try to jump on Tuesday, preview the game for Bears Commanders. And give our thoughts, see what the Cubs have done. Hopefully, this time next week we're talking about the Cubs clinching finishing up the Padres and holding a lead against the Brewers.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we even have a Bears trade to talk about.
Possibly. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, watching us. Go ahead. Like I say every time, it's 2025. Y'all know how to do this by now. Go to YouTube, Undefeated Sports. Like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell, whatever the hell you got to do. Do it so that you see all of our stuff. Thank you for the chat tonight. And we'll see you guys next week, Turtle.
Yes, sir. Thanks
See
for
you
having me.
later.